My name is Rachel Carter, and I used to believe I understood the rules of life, love, and marriage. I thought I had everything under control. My career as a marketing consultant, a comfortable home in Chicago, and a marriage that, at least from the outside, looked steady and unshakable. But what I discovered one restless evening changed everything I thought I knew about myself and the person I had vowed to spend my life with. It began quietly, the way most storms do. My husband Daniel had been working long hours at his law firm for months. The glow of his computer screen often became his only companion late at night, while I sat alone in our living room with the TV flickering. At first, I told myself it was temporary, that every career had seasons where work consumed more than its fair share. But gradually, I began to feel invisible, like a shadow moving silently through my own home. I tried to reach him. I cooked his favorite meals, left notes in his briefcase, even suggested weekend getaways. But every time there was a reason to postpone, just one more case, he would say, just one more week. And so I began to carry my silence like a heavy stone in my chest. One chilly evening, after yet another dinner eaten alone, I decided to step outside. I wrapped myself in a cardigan and walked aimlessly down the street, the glow of streetlights painting my path. It wasn't rebellion, nor was it escape. It was simply a need to breathe air that wasn't heavy with loneliness. That was when I heard a familiar voice call my name. Rachel. I turned and there he was, Michael Turner. We had gone to college together, and though life had taken us in different directions, we had remained acquaintances through social media. He was standing outside a small cafe, a place I hadn't noticed before, holding a coffee cup in one hand. "Wow, it's been years," he said with a smile that felt warm and familiar. "How are you?" Something about his presence disarmed me. Maybe it was the kindness in his eyes. Maybe it was the ease with which he asked how I was doing, as though the answer actually mattered. Before I realized it, I was sitting across from him inside the cafe, the hum of quiet conversations surrounding us. We talked for hours about careers, about old friends, about the strange ways life surprises us. He listened, really listened in a way I hadn't felt in so long. And I found myself confessing more than I should have about the cracks in my marriage. He didn't judge. He simply nodded, offering words of comfort. When I finally walked home that night, I felt both lighter and heavier. Lighter, because I had spoken aloud the feelings I had buried for months. Heavier because I knew I had crossed an invisible line. The days that followed blurred together. Michael and I exchanged a few more messages, brief and harmless on the surface, but laid with the weight of unspoken things. And each time Daniel came home late, my frustration grew. It wasn't long before Daniel noticed my distance. One evening, he picked up my phone absent-mindedly, and a message from Michael appeared on the screen. It was nothing incriminating, just a line about an old memory we had laughed about. But I saw the shift in his expression, the questions forming. That night, we sat in the living room, silence stretching between us like a taut rope, ready to snap. Finally, Daniel broke it. "Rachel, is there something you're not telling me?" I looked at him, and for the first time in months, I saw the man I had married. Tired, worn down, but still the man who had once promised to fight for us. Tears filled my eyes as I confessed not to an affair, because it hadn't gone that far, but to the emptiness I had been feeling, to the way Michael had been a reminder of what it felt like to be seen. Daniel listened quietly, his hands folded tightly in his lap. When I finished, he let out a long breath. "I've been so focused on providing for us, I didn't realize I was losing you in the process." It was not an easy conversation. Painful truths never are. But that night, something shifted. Instead of turning away, we turned toward each other. We spoke until the early hours of the morning, not just about the distance, but about the dreams we had neglected, the ways we had failed each other, and the hope that maybe, just maybe, we could still rebuild. The following weeks were not magical. They were raw, filled with awkward silences and careful steps, but they were real. We went on walks together again. We ate dinner without the TV on. We made promises to prioritize each other, not in grand gestures, but in small daily choices. As for Michael, I sent him a message thanking him for reminding me of what it feels like to be heard, but also making it clear that my marriage deserved my full commitment. he responded kindly, wishing me the best. And with that, I closed a chapter before it had the chance to become something I would regret forever. Months later, on a golden autumn afternoon, Daniel and I walked hand in hand through the park, the world painted in shades of red and gold. Our journey was far from perfect, but it was ours. And in that moment, I realized that sometimes the hardest truths lead us to the most necessary choices. Because I had walked away once, but I had also walked back, and that decision to turn toward love instead of away from it changed everything.